Timestamp is April 30th now, 2026, about 1 a.m. I'll be taking a shower and going to bed here real soon. Been up doing stuff all day. You guys want to go out one last time? Okay, we can do that. Oh, your nose does not ever go there. Come on, Tanner. Scrappy comes back to the door. Oh, man. So, well, first of all, we've got a possible health crisis going on here. Mr. Jinx is not right. What's going on, bud? How you feeling? Not sure what's going on there. We're going to get him to bed in the morning. Hi, Janice. Wow. Try and take a step and he hops in front of my foot. And we're walking and we're... Okay. Dude, stop. You're making this way more difficult than it needs to be. So Pix brought over a bunch of pantry stuff. I kind of like washed off the cans because they had cobwebs and stuff here in the pantry. Hadn't been touched for a while. Threw out a couple things that weren't within date. There was like some creamy spinach dip, which was about a year out. And because it's creamy dip, it tells me it's probably got something close to a dairy base. So, broke out one of the new lights that we got in. These things are amazing. Love these things. So I've been going through and restacking. So the goal here, what I'm trying to set up, is all my hobby and or, well, our hobby and craft stuff there. Stuff we're not going to care about behind it on the brown shelf so that I can slide this thing back against the wall and set this up as pantry and storage that we can actually get to on the regular. It should work. I think. Going through the stuff that was here. There was a box that I thought was a Janus, I feel like you're stalking me, sir. Do you not have food in your bowl? No, you got lots of food in your bowl. Remember, we moved your bowl so the doggos wouldn't get to it. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to try and make sure Jinx is okay. Alright? Yeah. I don't know. We're going to find out. The docs that the new hospital we're going to is amazing, so yeah. What is it? It was a family size halogen oven. Yeah, I'm getting to that. IntraChef I'll show you the box. So this guy here, the kind of orange box there. So I thought that's actually what it was, because my parents have got, like, 6 of each type of appliance, it seems. That is not what was in the box. What was in the box is a big old stack of newspapers from the 1930s to the 1950s, and some like deeds and property paperwork from the 30s and 50s for some property in like Lakeland and DeLand and stuff, other cities in Florida, in case you don't know. And they're not our family's paperwork. I don't know if this is a box of paper stuff that my parents got at auction, or what exactly the hell is going on there. I'm going to show Pix when she gets here in the morning. It's not pocket watches, sadly. And I'm just like, why do we have what? Yeah, I saw some newspapers from like 1938. I'm a little confused about this, actually. I mean, I know what a newspaper from 1938 is, but what is the significance? Why do we have this? Where did this come from? And there's no one to ask. I didn't recognize any of the names on the paperwork, so I don't think it's anybody from our family. Which, why is it here? I'm beyond confused on this one. I mean, we got some random stuff around here, but that was kind of... Made a pot of coffee, and I have a couple cups before I go to bed. We're feeling very sunflowery today. It's a Starbucks, the Veranda blend. It's like a mild, it's good, had it before. Oh, yeah, that's yummy. Starbucks is not a sponsor either. Oh, God, no sponsors. Not worried about it this second. Yeah, there was some stuff there that I was gonna save, but looking at it with a kind of a new perspective, there's a tabletop skillet. Looked pretty convenient, but it's the standard non-stick coating type of surface. And next time I get an appliance like that, I'm gonna get, they do make stainless steel ones, I'm gonna get a stainless steel. I don't want any cooking fiascos of stuff leaking off into my food. The more I hear about microplastics and things like that, the more I'm like, you know what, if I can avoid any of that kind of shenanigans, I would prefer that. I've already got a couple health issues that have me concerned. I don't need to add to it by what I cook with. But some like hand mixers and hand blenders and stuff like that, we're gonna figure out what we want to get when we get where we're going. I don't need every kitchen gadget ever made. There are some like the container slicers. You put an onion in there, you know, which, cool. Honestly, I kind of prefer hand dicing. Not with my hand. It's a lethal weapon, but it's not pointy. Um, I'll never use it. I'll never use it. And it's the kind of thing where you use it on, one would assume, one type of vegetable, and you're supposed to wash it off to avoid cross-contamination. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on there. I'm never going to have the patience for that. I'm just going to whip out a knife and it's a pointless gadget for a kitchen that I'm going to be, preparing food, working in. No reason. Do I want to get a good blender of some sort? Yeah. There is one here. I haven't actually tried it out. I don't know if it's any good or not. But actually getting one still in the box with all the attachments and whatnot sounds pretty good to me. And there are like 4 to choose from out there. So I don't know. There's one of the Ninja Nutra blender, big old box kit. I'm going to hold that back and hang on to that. It's, of the possibilities there, it's the one that I went, well, that has a lot going on. It's the full unit plus about 14 different attachments, and I think it'll even wash our car. Something about like valet parking as well. I don't know. One of those kind of box kits, So I'll hang on to that and look it up online and see if it has good reviews, and if not, I'll sell it, eventually, and get something that does make me happy. I don't know. But yeah, and I honestly don't even know if my mom was buying all those to, like, resell, or if it was part of her, like, kitchen hoarding. Not even sure. And I can't ask her. And even if I were to ask her if it was just a hoarding thing, she'd get offended anyway. She got very offended when anybody used that word. And it was strange, because apparently that word got used a few times. Gently. That was almost a finger. Careful, sir. But yeah, I guess Brian, the neighbor, had once said to my mom, because of what Brian told me, that he had kind of playfully said, oh, you got kind of a hoarding thing going on. And according to Brian, my mom went off on him, which, yeah. No. Towards the last couple of years, that's shit. Personality changes. Weird. There you go. Wow. Circus dog. This is what cognitive decline will do. Personality shifts and whatnot. I heard my mom swear a few times during the last couple of years. Once upon a time, when other people would swear around her, she would, I hate that. There's no reason for that kind of language. I mean, she really did have, like, physical, like, reactions to it. And on one occasion, she said, regarding my charming redhead, that she'd like to kick her right in the ass. And I was like, who are you exactly? Because that's not something I would ever expect my mom to say about anyone. Partially because of the word you used, and partially because that's just not something my mom would say. She might say, I really don't like her, or something like that, but not really like to kick her right in the ass. It's a rather strange statement from you. My understanding is if you have a stroke, because of what a stroke is, it will cause brain damage. It will cause a hole in your brain. It will cause some type of brain damage. So, exactly. So, and, where the clot is, what have you, will make a difference as to what part of the brain is affected. If it's in the speech center, well, there may be speech issues, balance, because the brain's got different sections which all do different things. Personality shifts, I want to say that's like frontal lobe stuff, right? I don't know. I took psychology. I took some of the neuroscience classes in college. Once upon a time, I remembered all that stuff, but, haven't picked up one of those textbooks in quite some time, so. At last count, my dad had 4 holes in his brain. He also had swelling, which I forget the way my mom pronounced the condition. I used to tease her with that and call it snuffleupagus, because it's like in snuffle, it sounds similar. And it's funny because she'd say, that's the condition he has. He doesn't have brain damage. And it's like saying someone has pneumonia but their lungs are fine. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. By definition, it cannot work that way. He's had a stroke, but there's no brain damage. No, there must be. There cannot not be. Denial, deceit. I don't know. What I do know is I have a rather large box of newspapers from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, and some deeds to property that are addressed to someone else from the 40s and 50s. Very strange. Very, very strange. I don't know why we have these things. I don't know what's going on here. And I'm so used to seeing modern paperwork. I'm actually going to pull one out just because it's interesting from a, sorry, what am I was trying to get by. From a historical standpoint, it's kind of interesting. And again, I don't know why we have these. There's a Marine Corps graduation picture from the 60s, too. It's nobody in my family. And that's not a anti-Marine statement. Got a lot of military in my family. But we're all Army. Get a good look at this. I'm so used to the fancy paperwork these days. Warranty deed statutory. James Shank and Aerosmith. Not the band. Like actual, like Fletcher Aerosmith. DeLand, Florida. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, wow. Okay. So I guess these stamps are like proof of monies. $0.50. Is that $100? $100? $1, $5. This it's embossed seal. I don't know. Consideration $10. Lots 2, 3, and 26. Some kind of subdivision into land. So this is from 1957. I don't know. Warranty deed. Halloran and Dio. Wayne County. Michigan? Hear ye, hear ye. His Honorable Grace Arthur Halloran III has decreed before us that I'm just making that shit up. Consideration of the sum of $1. Another valuable consideration paid by the said grantees. When are you from? 1954. Lot number 595. Subdivision, Wayne County. Recorded on June 4th, 1954. Shit, Marty McFly isn't even there yet. I'm really not sure what I'm looking at. I mean, obviously, based on the header, a warranty deed. And their witnesses, which were the Hoops. Having Legally Blonde flashback, you know. Miss Hoops. Hypothetical. Callahan would be fun to play. Between Blood in the Water and Gayer European. Would be a fun part to play. I think his chest is waxed. Huh. I don't know. You know what I really don't know? Why do we have these? That's what I really don't know. Clearly these are, property's probably changed hands, 40 times since then. So I don't think I own property anywhere. It's not anybody in my family's names or whatnot. But again, I ask the question, why do I have these? What the actual hell? I'm confused. And the stack underneath it was like newspapers from the 30s to 50s. And some more stuff like that. I don't recognize any of those names. Yeah, all the names in my family are German, German American, and Czech. I mean, Aerosmith, great band. It's very English sounding, really. UK kind of thing. There weren't too many people named Fletcher, so they went with Aerosmith instead. Guessing. Been doing Fletcher all day. Let's call you an Aerosmith. How's that? And you are going to be Bowman. And Archer. You're going to join Starfleet later. I don't know. Another chunk of random shite. And I use that term to honor these people with the UK names. I know I'm tired, worried about Jinx, and box of paperwork. Wise to that I say, huh? Definitely strikes me that my parents bought the dregs from other people's estates at the auction, which is why we have some like random odds and ends that are obviously someone else's family. You know, we've got another notebook that's like the entire naval record of a grandfather, son, and grandson. It's like a family album of Navy service for an entire family. It's not our family. It was in another box of like random paperwork. Don't recognize any of the names. Looked them up. One of them is buried in Arlington. I mean, it's legit stuff. It's just like, why do we have this? And again, my dad wouldn't know, and I can't ask my mom, so I have no idea. I'm guessing it's got to be something from the auctions. It's just weird. Now I was getting really hopeful too, because we're still missing some like family paperwork stuff. And I was like, ooh, this looks like official documents and stuff. This might be it. This might be it. Pocket watches, no pocket watches. Paperwork. Let me look at this. Those aren't our names. It's not even the Czech side of the family. What is this? And I just kind of put it aside because trying to get stuff done. You know? I don't understand half the crap that I'm looking at. You're okay, Janus, wherever you are. Yes, hello. Yes, Lord. Hi. Hello. He's a bit of a chatterbox. I like having talking cats, though. Makes it entertaining. So I'm going to go ahead and call it there. If anybody has, and I'm sorry if you're watching this in the morning and trying to get ready for work or whatnot, yawning at you like that, I apologize. I know. If anybody has any insight on that, the warranty deed situation as well, because we're talking about properties and locations and lots and subdivisions, so I'm like, is this actual like real estate deeds? I'm not familiar with it being called a warranty deed, though. And the price, my God, $14. Is property really that cheap in the 50s? I don't think so. Not even then, I don't think so. And I know you could get a car for a couple $1,000, but I don't think you could get a lot of property for $14.50. I think that's pushing it. 1850s, maybe. I don't know about 1950s. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at. Part of it is I'm tired, and part of it is that part of my brain is still looking at everything else, and that just makes it like, you know, makes the record skip. I don't know. Oh, the shit that's in here. Alright. Hug your parents. Make them tell you their secrets before you have to try and find out the hard way. It's grueling. Hug your kids. Tell them you won't do that to them. And then don't do that to them. Follow through. Keep your word. Please. For the time I can't get back. Do it for your kids. Yeah. Enjoy good coffee and make it a great day.